I want to go back to December 1991 and paint for my audience the fact that when Blood, Sugar, Sex, and Magic came out, it was an amazing time in music when you think about it. And to put it into some kind of perspective, you guys were on the road with Pearl Jam as the opening act. Nirvana was in the middle, and you guys were the closers. That is an amazing moment in music. I can't imagine what that tour must have been like. You guys had an album that was really breaking big. Pearl Jam was coming out with 10, and Nirvana, we know what happened with them. What was that tour like back then?
I remember just feeling like, they're good bands, but Nirvana, that they were really carrying a heavy magic with them. Like just feeling like they are a powerful entity to be respected.
When we were playing together in, 88, 89, like when we were still playing in clubs, it really felt like a life or death thing that we had to succeed at what we were doing, like not just commercially, but like our shows had to have an energy. Our shows had to move people. People had to be dancing, like our styles were in large part developed because we put ourselves under that pressure of wanting to be good.
Oh, that's good. That's incredible.
You know who was good? Nirvana.
They sure were.
When we played with them,
yeah,
they were just good.
No,
I mean, that was a life-changing.
What do you mean, Anthony? Yeah. What do you mean they were just good? Like they what was it?
I feel like some of this is a natural thing. Like John has a very clear understanding of dynamics. And then for me, that feeling that John is so beautifully describing, it was just natural. The first time that we ever played, it was just natural to have an energy, to have a passion and have a live or die aesthetic to everything that we did. But I feel like Nirvana had that naturally as well. Like they were certainly good at their instruments and songwriting and chemistry and all that, but then they also just had a combustibility that came with birth or came from God or came from the planets or something.
Did you get to hang out with Kurt Cobain and talk about being a front man? I would imagine you being around other front men, so to speak, would be important to you.
I mean, I was usually pretty nervous whenever I was hanging around with him. Just because I was in awe, and he wasn't the type who wanted to discuss being a front man. He was just kind of shy and in his energetic state. But Flea and I had some nice moments with him at some MTV show where we snuck away and went backstage and just sat with him while he was getting ready to play. And that was a nice experience.
What was unusual about it? That he was sitting and playing and kind of loose as a goose and like
loose.
Feeling
he was loose and warm and inviting and relaxed, and it wasn't like he had been on tour for a long time and was all emotionally chaotic. He was quite within himself and said, "Yeah, come and sit." And yeah, he was a beautiful dude, and he left us with a ton of unbelievable music and energy.
You put up this tribute to Taylor Hawkins, who just died from the Foo Fighters, way too young. It's very upsetting. On your drum, you have a picture, and I had Taylor on the show many times. I just thought he was the loveliest guy.
Yeah.
Very upsetting. That's a nice tribute. I mean, how many times in your career have you put a picture of somebody on your drum?
Not too many, I mean, I love Taylor. He was one of my best friends. We're still shocked and so saddened by his passing. He loved you, Howard. He was like, he's like, kind of tough. He goes, no, he's great. Howard's great. He always asks like really good questions. He's a smart guy. He's fun. You should do it. I was like, well, okay. But
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, well, and he loved life, and he was a real beacon and full of positive energy. I'm gonna miss him so much. He's a godfather to my son Beckett, and we spent a lot of time together. These guys loved him too. We toured a lot back in the late '90s and 2000s. Played a lot of shows with the Foo Fighters, and I love his family and just trying to be there for him on the outpouring from everywhere, not only musicians but people all over walks of life showed how much he was so loved, and yeah, when I asked him to be my son's godfather, I said, Taylor, do you think you'd be the godfather to Beckett? And he goes, yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, yeah. What do I got to do? I go, I don't, not really anything. He goes, okay, great. I can do that.
I'm good at that.
But he was beautiful, and I'm going to, we're all going to miss him. And so, yeah, just, a little tribute, and I love him.